Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Monday, February 17th. I am joined by Boomy at BoomyTCF on Twitter. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLilia, LALJATCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. You can follow me on Instagram, us on Instagram, Facebook. Just type in typical Chicago fans. Follow us on there. Wherever we're going to YouTube. Type in typical Chicago fans, subscribe on there, watch the videos, give us a like, and let us know what you think of all the videos. We put all the TCF morning shows on there and the typical Chicago fans podcast. And then wherever you get your podcast from, wherever you listen to podcasts at, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple, wherever you do. If it is Apple, subscribe, rate, review. If it's Spotify, follow on there, and then wherever else, just type in typical Chicago fans. You'll find us on there. Do what you got to do to follow us on there. Thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. I don't have the beautiful little mug right here, but if you have watched the show before and you know what I'm talking about, and you want a product just like that, go to themuddyotter.com. Find beautiful products on there, woodworking and pottery, and also go on to their Instagram and Facebook. Follow them on there. If you got some custom ideas for them, go on to there. Again, that is themuddyotter.com. Score Trader, we have a little update from our guy Owen. He said for the only details, February 22nd, this is the next live event, if I'm right, in Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That is correct.
And then the Democratic National Convention event always remains open for trade, whatever that means. What does that mean, Boomy? Help me out.
So what that means is the Democratic National Convention is where they will nominate who will be the Democratic candidate for the 2020 election. That is on July 13th, and I believe it's either in Milwaukee or Cleveland. I can't remember. But that's where they'll choose the candidate. And so basically in that style, that game, quote unquote, that's going on, you can buy stock in who you think is going to win, and that is going to continue to run until that convention happens. And the other ones are like not mini game, but like to me, like mini games comes to mind, but it's a separate game for each different primary or caucus. And like you said, the Nevada one's coming up here at the end of the month. We have Bernie Sanders, who picked up a win in New Hampshire last week. Pete Buttigieg is rising. So lots of big stuff going on right now with the Democratic National Convention and the primary, and see who's going to run up against old Donnie Trump in November.
Yeah, if you want to get involved in that app, go on to the Apple Store. Search Score Trader and download the app on there. Make an account and get involved. Boomy has been playing. He loves it. We'll get more into it here in the next week or so, talking about, is it the Nevada caucus or
primary?
Primary, okay.
Yep.
So we'll get more into that, but go onto there, download the app, and follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And today, thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter and Score Trader. If you can't tell by the picture behind me, I am not in the usual studio. I am up in St. Germain, Wisconsin at my grandparents' cabin for the weekend. So we are doing the show from here with this beautiful picture. I think it's like a lake with a dock. I don't know. It's kind of
Makes sense.
I like it. It's a nice
Makes
background for tonight. I thought it'd be. I picked it out. I picked the picture out. I hung it up. I did that all. But like I said, we are up. I did a little snowmobiling this weekend. Boomy. I don't know. Have you ever gone snowmobiling?
I've never driven a snowmobile. I went riding on a snowmobile when I was maybe, I don't know, 10 or 11 years old in Old Compton in West Brooklyn, Illinois. So it's been a hot minute since I've ever been on one. So we're going to have to get up there someday.
Yeah, I would say it's probably a good thing that you never go snowmobiling, probably, because like I said, a car is hard enough for you to drive.
Yeah,
Maybe just stick
yeah,
to that.
yeah.
But I did a little snowmobiling this weekend. We went around, went to some local bars, had some fun. It's always fun with the family up here. I said St. Germain, Wisconsin. I don't know. You've been up here once or
Oh
twice?
yeah. I've been up to the place you're staying at. I've been up there twice, and then a buddy of mine, his parents have a place literally like
Oh
three
yeah,
miles away from where
Nick's
you're at.
parents, right?
Yeah, they've got a place up there. It's beautiful. We go and golf up there, and hit the lake, and it's like a 6 hour drive, so it's a nice little getaway.
Dude, it's
But
crazy how much snow
always
there
a good
is
time.
here. I know that's kind of maybe dumb
Yeah,
to say, but like the piles of snow, it's just like what the heck? Like it is
yeah.
insane the amount of snow. Like my grandparents kind of lived like down on a lane, and like when you're driving, it's like like if you're
Whoa.
claustrophobic, it'll make you feel claustrophobic because like you pretty much just it's like a path, and there's like a wall
Right.
of snow packed in.
Yeah.
It's just like very weird at nighttime, also.
You're like basically in Canada for all intents and
Yeah.
purposes.
My favorite part though is going across the lake. You
Yep.
get to open the snowmobile up a little bit there. So
Hit
that
the
was fun.
throttle.
So I had ate some good food, had some fun with the family, did some snowmobiling. Good weekend, but we are here.
Absolutely.
But we couldn't. We're not going to skip a TCF morning show. We're not going to do
No,
that. We're
sir.
not going to do that to the people. But we are here. So let's get into our first topic, Boomy. The Blackhawks Jets. The Blackhawks won Saturday night. I think it was 8-4. They won, so it's kind of getting something going. Then they lose tonight, 3-2 to the Jets. A game that would have been a nice little back-to-back win. Got them going. I think they were, as of tonight, they were like 6 points back of the wild card spot. So kind of a tough loss. Every loss is going to be tough. They were on a 5-game losing streak before Saturday's game. So the playoffs are going to, it just gets tougher and tougher. Boomy, thoughts on the Blackhawks right now? And I know you've already pronounced this season over, but do you think that Saturday looked good? And were you excited about tonight's game? I was pretty excited, and
Yeah,
then
I
with
mean,
the loss, it kind of
like you
hurt.
said, you being gone, I went and had dinner with the family and went out for some drinks with my brother, and we watched the game at the Elks Lodge here in town, and it was fun, man. Like 8 goals, how was that? How can that not be fun? It was a good game to watch, and like that thought, and like we talk about, like that thought always just keeps creeping up in your head, like maybe they can do it, like if they can score, 4, 5, 6, 7 goals a game, like they're going to be tough to beat. And then they come out tonight and put up 2, and it's tough to see, especially sitting 6 games out. And it's not as a matter of fact that like I'm writing this team off. I think they're just running out of time, and that's the aspect that scares me the most, because playoffs. I mean, we're less than 2 months away from the playoffs, and you're 6 games out currently of the wild card spot. I've complained about this all year, and it's been the consistency, and it's just not there, man. And it's in the last 24 hours, it's been very evident.
Yeah, it's one of those things that every loss is, yeah, you always say every loss is tough, but the more you get closer to the end of the season, and the more teams that start to jump over you to get to that wild card spot, it's just going to get harder and harder to get back into the mix. And that was what happened last year. They just ran out of time. You only have
Yep.
so many games in a season. And so we'll see how the Blackhawks do in the next few months here. But as of right now, it's not looking good for the rest of the season. I think they finally do end up coming home here. I think it's either the next game or the game after, but they will be back at the United Center after a 5-game road trip. So maybe that'll be nice to refuel the team up and at the United Center, get the team back,
Tonight,
get a
did
spark
you
or
see how
something.
the game tonight ended? Kind of, I don't know. Well, not ended, but the game-winning goal probably should have been challenged,
That seems like
but
the Blackhawks been
wasn't.
on the end of that a lot this year. A
Yeah,
lot this year.
I
It kind
don't.
of sucks.
I still don't understand. Colin came out and gave an explanation. I really didn't want to listen to it, but like, why would you not? Like, what do you have to lose?
Yeah, I really cannot. It just sucks because it was that one game against I think it was the Bruins that they called that goal off too, and it should have been a goal, and the ref was just like, "Whoops!" And it's just like you said, every point matters. Like you really
Right.
needed those. that was kind of a time where you were getting it moving, and you lose in overtime. And then I think that was kind of what sparked a 5-game losing streak, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah, it was right before that, the start of that.
Okay. But let's move on. We had the NBA All-Star game. I'm actually
Oh,
staring at the replay of the NBA All-Star game. We are in the first 7 minutes left. But what's your thoughts, Boomy?
hands down the greatest All-Star game I've ever watched in any sport.
Because at halftime,
It's no doubt.
at halftime they ended up putting both scores at 0-0. But in the right-hand corner, they still had
No, it was each quarter, because each quarter was worth $100,000 to the charity. So each quarter they reset it.
Okay. And then the corner, they still had the full game score. And then it ended up being first one
Correct.
to 157. That was just pretty
Yeah,
cool.
so at the end of the quarter, they took the team who had the most points, and that was Team Giannis, and they had 133. They added 24 for Kobe's number, and they had to hit that number. So with that made 133 plus 24 is 157, and then they just basically played to that. And I think Team LeBron was down maybe like 6. I think they were down like 133, 127 or something around that. And then it's an untimed quarter. The first team to 157, and oh my god, dude! I thought it was going to be super gimmicky at first, but like that was like the definition of a pickup game. It was so awesome.
That's what really sold it, though, was they bought into it. Like they were out there. They had the best players on the court at the end of the game to when they were going to. When it was going to be close. And it was, LeBron wanted to win. Anthony Davis wanted to win. All those guys wanted to win. And that's what made it. Like, if they were just kind of like not playing defense or whatever.
Paul went after an official on a bad call.
Yeah, like you could tell those guys
had to be restrained. These guys were like more fired up for this than they are for regular season games. It was amazing.
Easily. I mean, this was like I wouldn't say playoff atmosphere, but they were playing tough in an all-star game that usually you don't see that.
Bro, and that's exactly what I said. This is the most entertaining non-playoff basketball game I've ever watched. And like I said, I don't know, and I said this to you in the text,
fun.
like I don't know if like you do this every year, but like, dude, I'm telling you, but like if there's some sort of format where they can turn that fourth quarter into something, or you just pick a number that you play to, like that was amazing. Like they were taking charges. Kyle Lowry took 2 charges in the fourth quarter, and there was another one. Kyle Lowry got a charge called on him. They were challenging plays. They were calling timeouts. They were like LeBron was like not dove, but they were all over the floor going for loose balls. Like it was some of the coolest, most competitive basketball.
It was fun to watch. It was very fun to watch.
Yes. And then, the rest of the weekend was really cool too.
The dunk contest, is the dunk contest back? I mean, not really, but that was fun. Dude, that dunk that Aaron Gordon had,
got robbed.
I get that. I don't know. There was a lot of good dunks by both guys.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't know, man. I just feel like Aaron Gordon got robbed the first time. He got robbed again. I don't know. It's tough. I
hate to be this way, and I know it's just because if I was in it, I would definitely think differently. But who cares? You get a trophy or whatever. But like,
we're too idiots here talking about it. That's what they want. They want people talking about it. That
dunk Aaron Gordon did is going to be played on SportsCenter so many times over the next few months. It's going to be insane. Like that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I thought, the 3-point contest was good too. Buddy Hield walking away with it. I thought the Celebrity All-Star Game is always fun.
It was kind of cool how I didn't know that they did this. They did it at the Wintrust Arena on the same night as the Rising Stars game. Yep. Were you surprised to see Luka in the Rising Stars game? Like, I understand he should be there, but I didn't know if he was going to play in or not.
At first I was, but he's just a specimen of a person that he is, the kind of competitive kid that he is, and he's only 24 years old.
Yeah, I just didn't know because he was a starter in
the
All-Star game.
I don't think he played. He really didn't play a ton tonight, and he didn't. I don't know how much he played in the Rising Stars game. I didn't watch all of it.
Let,
But he did not play a ton tonight.
let's just say that it didn't get as competitive as the All-Star game.
No, no. But and I don't know, but I love all the festivities that go on with it. I
And it was in
love like
Chicago. It was just cool to see at
exactly
the
that's what
United
I'm
Center.
saying, man. Like
Um,
Chicago really, really showed out, and I thought it made the city look good. You could tell the renovations to the United Center; they look good on TV. You know,
uh,
the basketball history in Chicago. Common, the way he was introducing the lineups was one of the cool. Like he had a rhyme for every single player. Like it was I was just super impressed. And like I mean, you can go back and watch our episodes from last week. I had super low expectations of what this was going to be. And honestly, man, this was one of the coolest. I mean, obviously we're biased because we're Chicago guys, like Chicago fans, but honestly, it was one of the coolest All-Star weekends I've ever seen, you know?
and I will. We'll get more into this probably tomorrow. But it seems like maybe the fire guard packs maybe worked this weekend.
Yeah,
We'll have
trending
to
with the
see over here in the
13,000.
next few weeks or so. But right before we started the show, we got an ESPN update that was saying that Jerry Reinsdorf is maybe looking for the options of who he would replace Gar Forman and John Paxson with. Like I said, we'll get
Yeah.
more into that tomorrow. We'd like to maybe get some more guys on the show to talk about that because if it's true,
But I
you will have a
do want to add in one more thing about the All-Star game real
wait. But
quick.
if we do get that news, you will have a very happy show. But go on,
Yeah,
go on.
absolutely. I love the format. I think you stick with it. I don't know if you do the 24 number every year, but if you pick a number, but a couple other things, you can't. It's just like a pickup game. Like if we go play, you know, at the YMCA or whatever, you can't end the game on a free throw, right? And you got to win by 2.
I also say like the charity was cool, and it's very nice that they do that. They could also do that, but I also think on top of that, like the players should get some sort of money because I think that would also keep it
Yeah,
very competitive. But
absolutely.
the charity was a very cool aspect of
And it
it
was so
too.
neat how they kept showing the kids and their team
Yeah, it was
Giannis and
like
team
they had their own
LeBron.
little cheering sections.
And I don't know if you heard it or not. I was muting it in and out on different parts. I was working on some work stuff. But like the one quarter they tied. How did they just split the 100,000 for the first?
I didn't really pay that much attention to it. I
See, I
wasn't
was
like
like, that's what. So at absolute minimum, each charity made 100,000 for these after school
yeah.
programs at different ones. So I mean, that's awesome. That's what it's all about, you know.
Like you said, it was just a cool opportunity too for all those kids got to come to the All-Star game and great
Right.
seats and everything, and they got to see maybe one of the best All-Star games. I mean, there's maybe not of all, but of recent memory, it's one of the
No,
best.
absolutely the best All Star game I've ever watched in any sport.
It's just like it was just so competitive and it was just awesome to watch.
Yes,
And like I said, it
and
was
I
cool.
will.
You never see something like that, like a capped number.
Yeah, it literally was like, dude, like when we would go play pickup games, you know, like think about going like to Purple Park or something or playing at the high school, like you had that you play to, right? Most of the time it's 21 or whatever the case is. And that's what it was. They were playing to the number and
It was just it's crazy to see these guys that are like that's like their whole thing is to work around the clock, make sure you like know what the time on the shot clock is. You only have so much time during the game
yeah,
to win the game, but in this game, the clock it didn't matter at all. Like it was just kind of cool to
exactly.
see how they play when you just turn the clock off and just play some basketball.
And in typical NBA All Star game fashion, Shaka Khan absolutely uh, just did, the national anthem was just horrible.
It
I don't know
seems
if you
like
listened.
the NBA All
Oh
Star
my
game
god!
has some national anthem problems.
And I like
Like,
Shaq. I mean,
was it
obviously,
Fergie? Fergie
yeah,
had the
that's
one.
what I'm saying. That's the connection because Fergie's was terrible, but Shaka Khan. I mean, and granted, she's quite a bit older. She was, you know, a musician back in like I think the '60s and '70s. And you know, God bless her. She had a great voice back then, but it was brutal, and it felt like it was like 3.5 minutes. It took forever, and her voice was not there. So God bless her, but it was terrible.
Yeah, that I saw that. I didn't watch the game at the beginning, but I did see that on Twitter. And the NBA All Star game it's gotta get the national anthem singers I don't know what happens with it. If it's
Just
the
have,
big moment
just
of
have
it,
Big
the
Ted
moment
do it.
of it's too big, or what's going on.
No, they just need to get like Fergie's. I don't want to say washed up, but like when was the last time Fergie put out a song? Shaka Khan has been, I know she's probably still active in tours, but like her heyday was 40 years ago. Like, can we get someone in there that has released an album this century?
Yeah.
Some people aren't gonna like that, but I don't want 65, 70-year-olds out there singing the national anthem. I just don't need to.
Yeah. But
Me, what was the girl that did the Super Bowl? She was awesome. Have her do it.
Demi Lovato.
She was awesome. That hers was fire, so just let her sing it.
Yeah, let's say somebody that has a good track record of like the national
Yeah,
anthem. Maybe this girl has. This guy did.
that's a girl.
But
Shaka Khan's a woman.
oh, really? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. You're not a big '70s funk, jazz type of music guy.
I am surprisingly not.
I never would have guessed that, Zach. I always pictured you for a '70s funk pop music guy.
You've read me wrong, Boomy. But let's get into the XFL Week 2.
Mark Trestman's the worst coach in the history of football.
Yes, we've known that.
Holy crap.
But my thing is, Matt McGloin. Did you guys see this?
I know I saw him in the game. I didn't. Something special happen?
He had some comments for his team going into
boy.
halftime, and I'm pretty sure he was benched.
Yeah,
after-
he was like basically suspended for the half.
Yeah, because he pretty much he said we need to change literally the whole offense. Is what he said. He's
This
like,
league, man.
and the DC defenders ended up shutting them out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the DC Defenders sitting at 2-0 at the top of the East. The New York Guardians got slapped. And then the Seattle Dragons, I didn't even realize they were playing in the Seahawks Stadium. That was pretty neat to see. But they beat the Mark Trestman-led Tampa Bay Vipers yesterday, 17-9. Both of those games just railing on the unders. I wish I would have got in on those. So
yeah. What is Dallas? What's their?
And then
What is
let's
their
see, today,
mascot? What is Dallas's mascot?
Dallas is the Renegades.
And we got LA because LA doesn't have enough football.
No,
Like what the heck? Like why do we not put this somewhere that has no football teams?
right? No, I don't disagree with you at all.
We're gonna put them in a place where there's two other professional teams already there. Like that's not gonna fail or anything.
Today, the Houston Roughnecks beat the St. Louis Blackhawks 28-4. The Houston Roughnecks have a really nice quarterback. I think his name's R.J. Wilson. He got cut by the Indianapolis Colts, and he is probably positional offensive, not all offensive players, but like skill position wise in the XFL, and he's playing right now. He's fun to watch, man. I don't know what it is exactly, but he's putting up some good numbers. Kind of a little something to watch there.
Okay, like I said, it's week 2 of the XFL. We're still interested for right now. We'll watch it if it's on. I don't mean.
Yeah,
I don't
I'll
mean
be honest,
to
I definitely
poo-poo.
watched
Yeah, I
this
don't.
weekend.
What?
I definitely watched less this weekend.
Yeah,
than I
I'm not
did.
gonna poo-poo it, but like, I don't know. We'll
No,
see.
and Hubbard, and maybe it was Hubbard or Mike Florio. Somebody had said like, I'm trying to like the XFL. I like it. I think it's a good, but it doesn't. It's not football season.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
just not football season. We're trying to get into baseball. Basketball starting to pick up here a little bit, and I'm just like, it's just not a lot of names you know. That's the thing.
Right.
It's just tough to watch and like kind of get into the games. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I'm
if I have nothing to do and I'm sitting there, I will watch. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm just saying it's gonna be tough to get like a lot of. I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to get like as much build up as people were thinking.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if, as long as they can make it longer than a year,
And
longer
like I
than the
said, if you
last
can
time.
somehow get some of these guys into the NFL and on like a squad or like a practice squad or something, and prove that it is kind of like a minor league system for the NFL, then you'll get
Hmm.
more maybe of
Well, that's
a
how,
viewership.
and that's how the USFL took off. Was they got guys, like some big name guys from college, coming out of college, and they let guys come out earlier than the NFL, I think, and I think that's kind of the key. And I think it's going to take a guy like this RJ Wilson kid, to make the leap back into the NFL and have some success. But that's just kind of one of those things you just got to wait and see.
Yep, yep. So XFL week 2 in the books. Next week, how many weeks are there in the XFL? There's going to
That's a great
be
question. I
10.
have no
10.
idea.
10 weeks,
Right.
and then 2 weeks for the playoffs, I think. So like I said, XFL, my stance is I'll watch it if it's on, if I have nothing going on, but it's still kind of meh. Meh. But Boomy, do you have a wacky web story for us?
I do, and this actually one has me a little worried. I will be in Florida the first week of April, finishing up some of my baseball stadium tours and going on vacation with the wife. And this story's got me a little concerned about our day trip to Miami, because peacocks are causing an absolute mess in Miami right now. It is a pack of peacocks, are wrecking havoc in Miami neighborhoods, just roaming in these groups of like 20 to 40 peacocks, just mating all throughout the night, making wild peacock mating noises,
Are they
crapping
loud?
everywhere. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
They're crapping everywhere and scratching up cars as they walk throughout the neighborhood.
Jeez
So
Louise.
these terrorist peacocks are just causing havoc in Miami, and I don't know if I'm equipped enough to deal with that.
Imagine if
What am
you're
I gonna? I'm one man. I'm a
imagine
240-pound man. What am I gonna do against 40 peacocks?
imagine waking
I'm in
up and
trouble, Big
your
Z.
car is like scratched and you're just like, "Oh, but must have been the wild peacocks."
But imagine like getting woken up at like 3 in the morning because two peacocks are in front of your yard, doing the nasty.
That would be kind of funny in a way. But
I
I would
mean,
if I
yeah, but
in the
then you're
moment
like, dude, I got
I would be
work in
pissed.
4 hours.
I'd be mad at the moment, in the moment, but like
All right, so
that's pretty
this
funny.
scenario, you get woken up at 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. by these peacocks out doing the nasty. Then you go to walk to your car and there's peacock poop everywhere. So you step in it. Then you go to get in your car and it's all scratched up from these I would be walking around with a shotgun just blasting peacocks.
Well, I don't think that's legal at all.
I
So
mean,
that's not going to
they're just
happen.
birds.
No, stop it, Boomy.
And
That
it's Florida. I'm pretty sure everything's legal there.
I don't think that's true at all. Um,
I mean, if you watch Florida or take any Florida news in, it's not inaccurate.
anything post show, Boomy.
How
Thumbs up.
were the trails? They were good on. I mean, we had a day when you left. It was like -4 degrees. So was the weather good? How's your trip?
Like I said, we left Friday, but we ended up not going out on the trails until Saturday. So it was a little. It was like Saturday. It was like around 30 or so, so it was beautiful.
Okay.
And then today it was a little bit chillier. But either way, I ride my grandparents' snowmobile, my grandpa's, and it has like the
Mhm.
heated handle and the heated like the thumb, so like for when you're like the throttle and everything. And it
No,
was
I didn't know
beautiful.
that was a thing.
Yeah. Um, and the bad thing was I didn't notice that until like the first about 20 minutes or so. So I'm like pretty cold,
Yeah,
and I realized that I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So and it even has like
that's
a
awesome.
seat warmer and everything.
All right. So did you get any like Wisconsin special foods or anything like a cheese curd burger
Well,
or
so
anything fun?
I'll have to report back on this because my parents will know. But we stopped at this place on the way up here, and some of the best cheese curds ever.
Really?
And but no,
Just regular cheese curds or fried cheese curds?
what's the like? I had
Like
like
like,
it was just
like the
regular
cold
cheese
ones.
curds, like you would get like
Gotcha.
appetizer, and they were amazing. It was like just like
Can't go
it was like
wrong.
this it was like a cheese factory. is what the place was.
Yo,
But not really. Every place we stopped, like at a bar or something, we would get like an order of cheese curds or something. But no, nothing really like. I'm not really into like the whole. Like if I come up here, I'm like not really into. I'm not gonna eat like just cheese curds all the time.
yeah.
So I
But I
had
didn't know like some places up there have like this place would be known for like a special kind of burger. You know what I'm saying? Like regional
well,
things, you know,
my thing is ribs. I'm a big fan of ribs. So
for real.
the one place I'd really like to have ribs, unfortunately, the Snowmobile Hall of Fame took up the whole place this weekend. Bought out the whole place for the whole weekend, so I could not go there and eat them. I was not happy.
What are the qualifications to get into the Snowmobile Hall of Fame?
I don't. It was an event, so I don't know if they were like inducting or like it was just like
Can we
I
get
don't know. But the
access to
place
this
we
event
drove
next
by
year?
the place, and
I'm very intrigued.
it was absolutely packed.
I am super intrigued by this.
I should have snuck in and got some interviews. I'm like, what is going on
Oh,
here?
there's I guarantee there's some of the wildest human beings you ever seen at those events.
Dang it, I missed an opportunity there. But yeah, overall, good weekend. Snowmobiling it's fun, but after a while, it gets to be a little chilly and also
Oh, you
a
think?
little tiring.
Yeah.
Even though I can't say that because my grandparents go snowmobiling, so like I can't complain about being sore.
Yeah.
But I'm sore.
Yeah. That's understandable.
What did you do this weekend, Boomy? I heard you're officially going to be a member of the Elks.
Yep, joined the Elks last night. They lured me in with their I think like $1.50 draft. So let's see, Friday night we had to I had to coach, so I was out all Friday night, and then yesterday we just went and gotta love it. The Mendota VFW has a steak fry once a month winter. Grilled up some steaks, had a couple cold ones. And then just went and hung out with the family basically all night, my mom and dad and brother, and just kind of enjoyed, became an Elks member. And then today I had to work on some work stuff and left the house for about 10 minutes and it's one of those weekends, like, you know, my schedule is bananas and it's starting to get to the point where it's going to wind down a little bit. So it was nice to take a day, and I watched The Departed. I watched The Departed for the first time ever. Probably the best mob movie I've ever watched. So, yeah, I'll say it. The Departed's amazing. And I don't know how it took me 14 years to finally watch it, but it was a good weekend, man, and nice and relaxing. I got a couple things to do in the morning, and but back on the grind. I basically don't have a day off of work until my trip to Florida in April. So,
You got to live it up today. You're gonna have to live up the last day off for a while.
Absolutely.
I say like the TCF boys had themselves a nice little weekend. Thank you to our sponsor, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com. Check out their woodworking and pottery work on there. Hannah and Mitch Prentice. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook. If you have some custom ideas, hit them up on there. Again, that is themuddyotter.com. And Score Trader, if you want to get into some of these primaries going on here. The next one is Nevada on the 22nd. Which will be a week from yesterday, or no, wait.
22nd is this. No, it can't be the 22nd. That's Saturday.
Well, then what? Maybe I'm wrong. This says February 22nd, Saturday.
I don't think anybody does elections on the weekends, but we'll check on that.
Okay. Who knows? We'll see. But if you want to get involved in that, go on to the Apple Store, type in Score Trader, download the app, and also follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Make an account on the app and get yourself ready for it. Boomy loves the app. He's been playing through the primaries and the caucuses. So
yeah, it is awesome because it's not something you have to like check in every single day. So you don't have to. Yeah, it is February 22nd. That is bizarre.
So get ready.
Oh, and that is the Nevada Democratic Caucus.
Yeah,
so not
a primary.
Yeah,
we are wrong. But we'll get more into that throughout the
week. So many
week.
events going on, man. They're hard to keep track of.
We'll get more on that throughout the week, but go download the Score Trader app on the Apple Store. and get yourself an account on there. Thank you to Boomy for joining me tonight at Boomy TCF on Twitter. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLilia, LILJATCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook, Typical Chicago Fans. Follow us on there. Go to YouTube, search Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe to our page on there. Watch the videos, like the videos, let us know what you think of the videos. We put all the TCF morning shows on there in our Typical Chicago Fans podcast. And then wherever you get your podcast at, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple. If you're on Apple, type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe, rate, review. If you're on Spotify, follow us on there. And then wherever you get if you get your podcast from somewhere else, just type in Typical Chicago Fans and do what you got to do on there. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Monday, February 17th. We love you all.
Peace.